As of the recording of this video, Wrestlemania is next weekend. So far, there have been 7 matches announced for night 1 and 6 matches announced for night 2. I'm going to be telling you how excited I am for each match. Now, if anything changes to these matches, okay, obviously, then just take it with a pinch of salt. This obviously, as of the time of recording this video. I'll go through each match and I'm going to give them a rating system. Basically from 0 to 10. 0 is I have no interest whatsoever. I'm not even going to watch the match or even give it a chance. Okay, and 10 is going to be literally I would cut my arm off to see this match. So yeah, basically 0 is really bad and not interested at all. 10 is really good and I'm really excited for it. I don't know what the order is going to be. I'll try and give you Saturday first and then Sunday followed up. So basically it depends on obviously what they've told me which is on which night. So I don't know the match orders, but the first one I've got written down is the New Day versus the War Raiders. Now, if you told me this back in, was it October, November sort of time, when the New Day turned heel, right, it would have been way up there, been like a 7 or an 8, maybe even a 9. But no, this is probably going to be, spoiler alert, one of the lowest rated ones I've got on here. With 5 being basically bang on average, this is a 4. It's below average. I've got literally no interest whatsoever. Like, if this was a pre-show match, I probably wouldn't even watch it. So, with how they've actually built up the New Day with their heel run, it's been absolutely terrible. From one of the greatest heel turns to whatever this is supposed to be. Now, as an in-ring perspective, if that's the correct word, okay, I probably would give this a bit of a higher rating, but with that in consideration and the whole storyline consideration of how excited I actually am for the actual match going to be, it's below average for me. I'm not saying that any of these matches are going to be terrible or bad. This is just my opinion of how excited I am. The next match is going to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Now, I'll give this match a 7 out of 10 because they do look like great in-ring workers, especially with them both being like masked wrestlers. It's, you know, it'd be nice to see. But if it was like Chad Gable, then this match would be definitely an 8 or a 9 because Chad Gable is one of the greatest workers that I've ever seen. And Rey Mysterio being a Hall of Famer, he just doesn't choose to slow down. But because it's not Chad Gable and it's El Grande Americano, I'm only going to give it a 7 out of 10 because I'm excited to see what El Grande Americano is going to do on a WrestleMania stage. And seeing Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, he's fantastic. The third match is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Now I'm going to give this match a 7 out of 10. Okay, it's not bang up there as the best. Okay, it's not average. To me, it's in between, so it's like average, between average and great, if that makes sense. But the whole Jade Cargill, obviously, now becoming like a singles wrestler, so I'm interested in seeing that. The whole situation with Naomi turning heel, which she hasn't done in years, I don't believe. Like, I'm really excited for this match, but the whole wrestling concept of it kind of knocks it down a peg or two. So... And it is nice, obviously, the fact that this is the first singles women's match not to contend a title in ages. I think 19 years. Well, I might be wrong. Now, the next match, if you can guarantee it was only going to be LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, I'll probably give it a higher rating. But more than likely, the fact that Solo Sikoa is going to get involved, I probably shouldn't take that into consideration, but I am. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So, literally just above average. Jacob Fatu in his first WrestleMania, singles match, title match. It's going to be a good match. And obviously LA Knight is doing some fantastic work as well. So the excitement for me is just above average. Gunther versus Jay. Okay, so originally, I probably would give this like a 3 out of 10. But the whole situation with Jimmy getting involved and like Jay cutting his promo on Raw last week, it's starting to look like interesting. Now, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. So, with how it looks like it's going to be, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Okay, that's me being generous here. Because if it's going to be a match like you just super kick, splash, dive, super kick, splash, dive, like it's going to go way lower than that. But at the moment, though, with how the storyline's now being built up, yeah, it took a while to get there, I will give it just barely a 6 out of 10. Okay, like I'm talking like it's on like on the edge. So if anyone literally blew it, it would go back to the 5. If that makes sense. Then we've got Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I do think it's going to be a fantastic match, but how excited I am for it, 5 out of 10, average. Like, at this point, I don't care, and I also do care. If they removed it, okay. If they didn't remove it, okay. Just because that promo they did on SmackDown, it's just, what even was that? So I felt like they could do a hell of a lot more. This to me was like a dream match, and it's just, I'm not really interested in it. I'm not exactly sure why, but yeah, just gonna leave it at that. Now for the main event of night one, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. This to me, okay, was very close to getting a 9, but I thought it was better than having an 8, so I'm going to say it's going to be an 8.5. I put points in there now for some reason. Yeah. The whole situation, especially with Paul Heyman being involved, Roman and Seth going way back, basically all of them going way back. Like, I would have preferred to see Seth versus Roman one-on-one, but having CM Punk in this match, okay, it's not a bad thing for me. I just want to personally see a singles match between Roman and Seth at a WrestleMania before it's too late, like we never got with Cena and Edge, or like we never got with Cena and Randy. So maybe we will have one day, but still the situation though, CM Punk in his first main event, see how he's going to basically react to being out there, see who basically Paul's going to be aligned with, how it's going to affect Roman, how Seth's going to play a part in all this. Like, I'm actually genuinely excited to actually see this match, how it's going to come along. That might be the best wrestling match, but in all fairness, to me it probably might be. Now we go on to WrestleMania Night 2, WrestleMania Sunday, WrestleMania the first part of the second part. I don't know. So, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. 7 out of 10. Logan Paul has probably already practiced his match, but it's still great. I can't think of a bad Logan Paul match. A lot of people don't like who he is, but I don't care about any of that. I care about his wrestling skills. And going against the phenomenal AJ Styles at a WrestleMania. AJ Styles made Shane McMahon look good at WrestleMania. I'm not saying he's bad, but yeah. But this to me is above average, but more above average than above average, if that makes sense. But I'm still looking forward to how the match is actually going to play out. And that new finisher that Logan Paul pulled out the other week. Damn, that looked good. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight. 6 out of 10. Like, I wasn't interested at all. Everyone was like, I don't care. But you've got Drew and you've got Damian on the actual card. Them two in a storyline makes sense. The fact that it's a street fight and they look like they're going to do anything to basically brutalise each other. We've seen Drew McIntyre push the limits in like a Hell in a Cell match. So for that reason, I am going to give it a 6 out of 10. Because it's literally just above average. But if it also wasn't on there, I wouldn't ask for it. I'm not mad or upset that it's on there, but if someone said to me, what do you want to see at WrestleMania? This wouldn't have been on the list, if that makes sense. Then we've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I was going to say 4 out of 10, but these are fantastic women's wrestlers. Okay, so I will give it a 5 out of 10. I think it's stupid. You should have had Bayley versus Lyra in an Intercontinental Championship match. It's your women's mid-card title. At least let it feel like it means something. Don't just throw them together in a random tag team match. These women's tag team titles are basically going nowhere. Wouldn't surprise me if they vacate them soon, or vacate them? Yes, they would. So, okay. So as in terms of them actually wrestling, okay, it's great to see Liv Morgan and Raquel on the actual WrestleMania. Okay, for that reason, fantastic. The actual wrestling side of it would be like a 7 or an 8. But how excited that I am to actually see this tag team match, 5 out of 10. Maybe pushing over to a 6. But then when I do think about the actual... Now that I actually think about them actually as an actual team wrestling, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go for a 6.5 out of 10. It's the best I can do. Take it or leave it. Then we've got number 4. Yeah, number 4 of night 2. Yeah, I don't think I was giving numbers out, but still, it's number 4. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Now, originally, I was so excited to see Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair one-on-one, and I wasn't interested in having Io in there. No disrespect to Io, I think she's brilliant, okay, and I love seeing her wrestle, but I wanted to see just them two in a singles match. But now that you've put Io in there, and I've seen how they've all been working together, I do think it's going to be a fantastic match, and for that reason, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 of how excited I'm going to be to see that match. Seeing basically all three of them just go at each other, it's just going to be a brilliant match. And that's basically my highest rated women's match on there, I believe. Number 5, considering we're doing numbers now, you've got Bron Breakker versus Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Finn Balor. Them four in a ring are going to be fantastic. All of them are great wrestlers, and the fact of the outcome could be literally anything at all, which obviously I'll be doing a prediction show or video soon. Bron Breakker with his spears. Penta basically is new to me, so I'm excited to see that. Okay, everyone's starting to love Dominic Mysterio. Okay, Finn Balor's ability to get pinned is all fantastic. And like I said, I haven't actually said it yet, I don't think, but this is going to be another 8 out of 10 match for me. And then the last one is going to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Because it's John Cena's last WrestleMania and it's a heel, I'm excited to see how he's basically going to cope with being a heel, and like if anything changes. I don't think it will, because he hasn't changed anything else, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I don't want to set my expectations too high, because I'm here thinking like Stone Cold is going to come out, you have The Rock out there and all this stuff, and if it doesn't happen I'll be disappointed, but that's on me though. But Cena's not in his prime anymore, he's on his way out, so I'm not expecting to see a fantastic wrestling match. And people say Cena can't wrestle, but I think he can. What do I know? But 8 out of 10 is where I'm going to stick to at the moment, because my main excitement is to see how Cena is going to be wrestling as a heel for the first time in 20 something years, is it? I'm not too sure. Well, basically, that is the whole of WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 as announced from now if anything changes. So my least favourite match on there, well, my least excited match is going to be the New Day versus the War Raiders at 4 out of 10. And my favourite, most excited match at the moment, storyline wise, is Roman, Seth and Punk at 8.5 out of 10. But the actual wrestling side of this is going to be Bron Breakker versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Now, why don't you let me know what you think of my rating system, okay, and what you would change in there. If you think it's stupid, let me know why. That'd be fantastic to hear. If anything else gets announced, I might put it in the comments and say this is what I gave this match. But if you like this kind of video, let me know. Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.